strong.
Welcome back to Crypto for Freedom, where we talk about gaining financial freedom through the cryptocurrency markets. All right, you guys, we're looking at Bitcoin today and Dogecoin, and if we're going to be heading up into an altcoin season here. If you guys want to find out about my price prediction for Dogecoin, make sure to stick around to the end of the video. All right, let's jump into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been in a bull run since November of 22. You can see very clearly here that the low was in November of 22. And now we've been in a bull run for 1,065 days. If you look at the previous bottoms of the market, you can see the bull runs lasted very similar. Here's 1,066 days. And from over here, we lasted 1,096 days, which gives me a reason to believe that the top of the market is in for Bitcoin, and we may be going into a one-year bear market from here. Now, that's not guaranteed, and I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a financial advisor, and you're always going to want to do your own research, but I'm just looking at the charts, and the charts tell me that we're going to be going down. But at the same time, everybody's like, whoa, there might be a super cycle. Is there going to be a super cycle? Who knows, man? And honestly, we might end up just seeing Bitcoin go to the moon. So leave your thoughts and comments down below if you think Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. Are we going to fall out of this rising wedge to the downside? Or are we going to go ahead and get out of this rising wedge and move to the upside up here? I personally think we're going to be heading up, to be honest, because look at the volume here, guys. Back over here, we had tons of volume. That was 2017. Back over here, 2021. We got tons of, we had pretty good volume spike here. But over here in 2025, no volume whatsoever. Look at this. Nothing. So it's like, is the bull run over? Who knows, man? But you know what? Last cycle, the Fed ended up cutting rates to 0, and that sent crypto to the moon. Here's the rate cut. Here's the moonshot. Now, we just had a peak in rates over here at 5.25, 5.35%. We finally seen some rate cuts. Then we saw a pause for a while. And just like we saw over here, rate cuts and a pause. That coincided with some sideways choppy action. Sideways to down choppy action. We've kind of been seeing some sideways choppy action here. If we see the Fed end up cutting rates more, or even possibly cutting them all the way down, that could end up sending Bitcoin into a super cycle, to the moon. I was kind of predicting 180K for this cycle, but I think it could go anywhere from 180K to 250K for this cycle. Now, jumping over to Dogecoin, if Bitcoin were to go to 180K, Dogecoin would end up also going to the moon. And back here, when the Fed cut rates, you can see that Dogecoin was also in this choppy sideways consolidation phase. And then we didn't actually end up going to the moon until we were actually at 0. So the rates are still way up here. And we're kind of still in this choppy sideways consolidation phase, although we have broken out of the downtrend. As you can see, each cycle there's this downtrend. This time we broke right out. This time we broke right out. And this time we're ended up back testing multiple times. And, before I think we're actually going to break out, but that has to coincide with the rates dropping down even lower. And then if we switch over to the Doge Bitcoin pair, you can also see that, Dogecoin lost a lot of value against Bitcoin on this scam wick over here at the end of October. It did rebound a little bit, but I could see Dogecoin actually just making higher lows for the next 1,066 days against Bitcoin until it finally breaks out of its higher low structure and possibly comes up to make a new high. So could we be seeing the 7-year cycle theory playing out where Dogecoin makes lower highs against Bitcoin for 7 years, just like it did in the first 7 years of its history before it finally broke out against Bitcoin? I think that could be a possibility. I do think Dogecoin does have a chance to come back up to this line to 50382 by February, and that would bring Dogecoin USD up to make a higher high against its USD pair, and that would bring Dogecoin up to make a higher high against its USD pair. Now the RSI still hasn't got into the oversold territory, only a little bit back here and a little bit back there, but nothing in the green region like over here or the green region like over here. So could we be looking for Dogecoin's RSI to come up? We've also been seeing atrocious volume here. Nothing like the volume we saw back in 2021. You know, this is a chart I haven't really shown yet, but if we throw on the Bollinger Bands, which is right here, you can see that Dogecoin's Bollinger Bands, you know, already had a massive dip over here at the peak in 2024. We see the squeeze and then the dip. That's what happened in 2021. Same with over here in 2017, the squeeze and the dip in the Bollinger Bands. We already saw the squeeze over here and the dip. So, you know, the top of the market could be in for Dogecoin and Bitcoin. Make sure to leave all your thoughts and comments down below if you think the Bitcoin and Dogecoin bull runs are over. I personally think that Dogecoin still has a chance to come up and make a massive move just based on the Fed and the rest of the market liquidity cycles. Back over here in 2018, Dogecoin went on a 10,000% run. Over here in 2021, once we broke out of the downtrend, Dogecoin went on a 30,000% run. And now in 2025, Dogecoin has broken out of the downtrend. And could we see Dogecoin come up to make anywhere from a 10 to a 20,000% run? 10,000 would bring Dogecoin up to $12. That'd actually be pretty crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. But, you know, if we got a 10,000% move from the bottom of the market, we could see Dogecoin come up to $5. And yeah, I'm not even going to do the moon math on the other price prediction. But a lot of you click off of the video right now. So if you guys stick around this far in the video, make sure to leave a just a watermelon in the comments. Now, taking a look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance does look like it might have a chance to you know, come up and make a higher high. To me, it almost seems like, you know, Bitcoin dominance will come up and make a higher high, just because Bitcoin's gonna, you know, kind of take the show here at the end of the cycle. We are looking for this altcoin season with Bitcoin dominance dropping. I just don't think it's going to be that easy. We have been seeing increasing volume here. And as soon as we end up seeing this big drop in Bitcoin dominance, we should be seeing an altcoin season. Now, everybody's sleeping on crypto, you guys, and I just think that's the wrong move, because crypto is going to be an avenue that you can use for life-changing gains as long as you dollar cost average into the market and accumulate your positions over time. Having multiple streams of income and an emergency fund to protect your assets. That way you don't have to sell in the bear market for a loss. That's the way to get rich in crypto, you guys. If you guys are new around here to the channel, or if you really like the content and value the content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Check out all my other links below and in the description. And remember that none of this is financial advice. And with that, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.